See if I can get this like I want it so I won't be moving it around. Good evening. It's evening where I am. Um, yeah, evening. So good evening, good morning. This thing, I'm gonna have to leave it alone. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy, y'all. Um, it is a rainy evening where I am. Let me see. A rainy evening in my rainy night in Georgia. But I'm not in Georgia. Let me see if this makes it better. Give me a sec. See what kind of ambiance this gives us. Okay, yeah, I'll go with this. Okay, it's making me look kind of red, but I'm just gonna go with this. Is about how I look in person. I am actually red. Okay. Um. All right. Thank you for stopping by. If you have, and I have done my Saturday errands, gone to the chiropractor. Um, you know the things we do on Saturdays, pick up the things we need for the house, all that good stuff. So I'm back home now. I've got a nice cup of tea. It's rainy outside. My daughter actually just sent me a text message saying it's just chilly. It's turned chilly outside and just kind of cold and chilly. And I was like, yeah, and I'm back in the house. Thankful to be back in the house with a cup of tea and about to make a video. All right. I want to discuss some things, all right? And I have some things written down here, and hopefully we won't, be too long together. Um, but just watch it as you can tolerate it. And like I said, I have some things written down. I believe in jotting down things, y'all. I'm 57, all right? I'm 57 and a half, and yeah, a little over a half, 57 and a half. And I believe in pen and paper, pencil and paper, and making a pro and con list and connecting dots. I believe in that. Okay. To the point where I had a hairstylist some years back. She was a beautiful young lady, young enough, she could have been my daughter. She was that age. We had that age gap where she could have been my daughter. And she's not my stylist anymore. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But she was doing my hair one day, and she said, "Yeah, my boyfriend and I are going away for the weekend, and he wants me to have my nails a certain way, and then he wants me to have my hair a certain way, and all of this." And so it raised a red flag. We're talking about this collapsed veil now, y'all. And let me say this, I am not against anybody. I believe in live and let live. Okay? But I am a person who believes in live your truth and don't hide your truth. Okay? So when she was saying these things to me, my antenna is going up. And I said, okay, uh, you're doing my hair, but I'm gonna get a pen. I actually took out some paper and a pen, and I was getting ready to make a pro con list, and we were getting ready to add up some stuff because it was suspicious. Okay, like I said, she was young enough to be my daughter. It was suspicious to me because I was like, it's either this or it's this, and they are polar opposite. And so the people around me, the other stylists, knew that this young lady's boyfriend was getting ready to propose to her on this trip. So he wanted her nails to be a certain way for the ring, and so that was one area my mind was going in. But then the other route, my mama thing kicked in, and I'm thinking, okay, this is too specific. wanting your nails like this. He either is getting ready to propose to you, or he wants your nails like he really wants his nails. We need to get to the bottom of this. I believe in pen and paper. So I have some stuff written down here that I want us to talk about with this collapsed veil and these cats out here barking like dogs. Okay, we're gonna talk for just a minute. I hope you have some tea or whatever it is that you like to enjoy. Okay, she's not my stylist anymore, and I wish her well. We had a parting of ways, and I had to gently dismiss her from being my stylist because she disrespected a wig that I had left with her to tint. She did the work on the wig, and I paid her for it. But how it ended up getting dropped back off to, it's a whole story that I won't go into. And like I said, she's a sweet girl, a beautiful girl, and I hope if you see this baby, I hope you're well, you're beautiful. I just kind of felt like your little inner Memphis was coming out, you know, at that time. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but usually I'm not wrong about this stuff. But so yeah, she's a sweet young woman, and I hope you're doing well if you come by here. But I just felt like your little inner Memphis was coming out, and you were trying to be some kind of way about that whole wig situation. But I do wish you well. Okay, if you just happen to stop by here, you know, you recognize my face, and you know. Anyway, I have notes. Okay, that was a long way of telling you that I believe in jotting some stuff down. Okay, a collapsed veil and barking cats. I mentioned earlier in another video that evil is going to get somewhere and sit down and have to, I said it like that, but then also I got tickled because to me this is a link I heard today on a news clip that the president or the prime minister, whatever they call their leader of France, had him and his mans and them, you and your mans and them just took over the floor, started doing your thing. Shout out to Brandy. I'm well, thank you. How are you? But I heard that Macron and his mans and things have taken refuge in a bunker because, thank you, because the farmers have taken over France in this riot and strike. And the tensions are heated to the point where, you know, they feel like they need to seek shelter in a bunker. So I'm telling y'all, we live in an age, the veil is collapsed. Evil is on the run. The average man and woman, everyday people, working people around the world that just want to live and love and enjoy their life, the power has always been with us. We just turned it over to some leaders that have their agendas, who have made themselves the top whatever percentage, and they're making decisions that aren't for the good of all of us. Okay, but the power is in our hands, and we are realizing that day by day and moment by moment, and I love it, to the point where again Macron and his mains in them are, if you know what I mean, his mans and them are seeking shelter in a bunker. You gotta love it. This is today's news now. Okay, so much stuff is you can't really even report it. All right, so that's one thing I wanted to discuss. So Macron and his mans are on the run. Okay, the second thing I want to talk about is how, with this collapsed veil, truth is stranger than fiction. You've heard that saying, right? That truth is stranger than fiction. Candace may need Candace Owens, may need to bring her Bridget Macron's spidey senses back over here to the United States and ask some Arizona, is that where they live? Arizona, some town in Tennessee, small town, questions of the Bridget Macron kind, because somebody said of their own volition that when she was pregnant, she purposefully hid because her life was so public and she just wanted to enjoy her pregnancy and enjoy eating her hamburgers and drinking her milkshakes. That's what she said. And I got to thinking, okay, okay, you hid during your pregnancy. You put that out there, kind of like heading off at the pass. We're talking about truth being stranger than fiction, a collapsed veil, and cats barking like dogs. This is what we're talking about. So you get ahead of something by talking about you hid during your pregnancy. So you could, and wanted that privacy to yourself so you could just enjoy the pregnancy and eat your In-N-Out burgers. Okay, so I'm looking at a hidden pregnancy. I'm looking at your hands or at a certain casket side. Okay? We're talking about truth being stranger. Because y'all know that people who choose to make the transition, to what they feel like they are, they can have it done to where you really, it's hard to tell the difference. It's hard to clock their teeth, as they say. So you're saying that you hid your pregnancy. People, not just me, people have made comments about the hands, the size of the hands at the casket side. At first, I thought they were talking about the deceased hands, but no, these people were talking about in comparison to the deceased hands, approximately being kind of like the same size. Now, I'm not saying what it is and what it's not. I'm just saying truth is stranger than fiction. I think we may all be in the Truman Show at this point. And I'm not coming against anybody, but my thing is identify yourself. Be what you are without deception. It's not what you are or what you choose to be that's the problem. It's the deception that's the problem. And then I'm looking at this jawline. Now, I know we all have, different features and things and different ways that we're made up in bone structures and all of that. But I have noticed to myself a certain kind of face structure. Okay? I know these things are way out there, but we're going to discover we have been punked on a massive scale. Okay? And like I said, I'm not saying what it is and what it's not. But these are just things to think about. We're making notes. And then my thing is be willing to truthfully identify yourself and live in your truth. And don't try to deceive anybody. And I'm noticing, like, there's the story with Macron. And then the people are making comments about this person's hands, casket side. Okay, when they were casket side. And then, Candace people talk about Candace, and like I said, I'm not just a fan of Candace, all right? But Candace stands on her square, and she identifies herself every show. When her show is coming on, you can see pictures of her as a little girl, and it looks like her. Looks like one time she's holding a microphone, look like she's giving her little Easter speech. Okay? She's identifying herself. She shows herself pregnant. Okay? She's not hiding. People know who she is. She's not hiding. What's really going on? We're talking about a collapsed veil and barking cats. All right? Be willing to identify yourself and live in your truth. Just don't deceive your neighbor. That's all the public is really asking. Okay? And the last thing I want to say, because this veil is collapsed, we are seeing things and people for who they are, what they are. Live and let live. I'm not talking about coming against anybody. I'm not talking about crucifying anybody. I'm not talking about um, downing anybody's lifestyle or anything like. Respect everybody and demand your respect. Live and let live, but trust your gut. And I'm saying this from personal experience. Trust your gut and your first mind. Okay? Trust your gut and your first mind. If somebody tells you, in the words of the late Maya Angelou, if somebody tells you who they are, believe them. Okay? And if somebody tells you, and I'm saying this because I've had it said to me. Like I said, I'm not just on here spouting stuff. I'm giving you some life lessons and life experiences. If somebody tells you they are more for you than against you, leave that baby calf right where they are permanently. Because nobody in your life should be more for you than against you. And you're supposed to think that's a good thing. I'm not making up stuff. I've lived long enough where I've had people say this dumbass stuff and thought I was supposed to be okay with it. No, you got to go. Okay? Because if you're going to be in my life, I need you 100% on my side, because if I'm in your life, I'm 100% on your side. And if you love me, you got to love me like, who do I want to say? You got to love me like Gomez Adams loves Morticia. You got to love me show. Okay? So, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Have a nice evening. We'll talk later.